In the beginning, or so I've been told, there was nothing at all, nothing young, nothing old. Then there was one thing, without arm or leg. It suddenly showed up. We'll call it an egg. The shell began cracking, and from it arrived a powerful crow, the first being alive. The crow, as he now shall be known, created a place for life, a large stone. He placed this stone in another creation. He called it the cosmos, a planet holding station. And on this stone, he said with some mirth,
I know what I'll do. I'll call this thing Earth. And on the Earth, I will create life, with plants and animals, which may cause some strife. But that will be fine,
said he with his words,
as long as nobody harms the birds.
He created animals of many kinds. He created their bodies and created their minds. But he got to the humans, and in an odd convention, he made them too powerful while not paying attention. He didn't think twice and sent them to live with all of the knowledge that he did give. When all the creatures and plants were created, he sat down contently and patiently waited. As time had passed, the humans, you see, became much more evil than you and me. They began killing animals, which would have been fine if they had actually used them to dine. But instead, they killed for jewelry or king's courts, or even worse, they just killed them for sport. And the crow, well, it made him quite mad. Nearly all humans had become very bad. He needed a solution, something equal in blood. Then it had hit him.
I'll start a flood. Nearly all animals are already dead, except for the birds, who could just fly instead.
He thought that this plan was perfectly clever, but then realized,
oh no, birds can't fly forever.
He had to act fast. The rain was a-coming, and those miserable humans had clogged up his plumbing. He thought of an idea and sat back inside. Then he stood up and he swallowed his pride. He'd ask a human to help with his plan.
But it has to be an animal-loving sort of man.
He used his powers to scour the earth and found a human of considerable worth, one that had never done any harm. He never killed animals and had much charm. He donated to causes and helped out his friends. With old enemies he would try to make amends. His name was Bertram, and he was the one that the crow would rely on to see his plan done. As Bertram sat in his house one day, a voice came to him and it started to say,
Bertram, I am the crow. There isn't a single thing that I don't know. I created you and all of your friends, and it is by me that they'll all meet their ends. But you, my boy, are so very good that I will spare you, like any kind God would. But listen, in order to live, there's some instructions that I will give. Humans have been a miraculous dud, so I will now kill all of them with a flood. Will you accept my request and jot them all down, or will you decline and promptly drown?
Bertram was aghast. There was so much to know. A voice in his head? A giant talking crow? It seemed very strange and confusing and hazy. Was this all true, or was he just crazy? His friends and family all would be through. This very thought made him quite blue. It's true, he thought, humans were a blight, and he felt happy that he was their moral height. But what of this plan? Was it right? A destroyed earth would make quite a sight. He made up his mind, and his face was all white. He looked up to the sky and into the light. He said with a feeling of tremor and fright, alright. And so it was done. The plan was in motion. The crow was anticipating raising the ocean. He told Bertram to construct a large ark, but the man didn't know where to start. So the crow dumbed it down and gave him the next best.
Just go ahead and, build a nest.
So Bertram went out and collected some sticks, and he arranged them into a nice cozy fix. Then the crow said, take every bird ever made and throw them all in and wait for the rain. Then the rain came. It fell for 9 days, and the water remained and the nest was raised. It floated along the top of the stream, and everything went along to the crow's scheme. After some time, the water receded, but Bertram, of course, was still needed.
You've been very noble, and for that I'll confide. I'll never again raise the seaside. Now one final thing. Take an object you see, and throw it up high, and a creature it'll be.
Bertram obliged, and did as was stated, and a human appeared. He was quite elated. Bertram did it again, and then appeared a dog, then lions, and cows, and kangaroos, and frogs. The world was repopulated with creatures once more, and the new humans were not as interested in war. The crow sat back, his plan a success, and humanity was surely put to the test. It was all better now, thanks to Bertram and his heart. Maybe it wasn't so bad humans were smart. That ends the story, but viewers, keep in mind, it always pays to be very kind.